Good morning, ma'am. I am Jobel P. Sagusay from BSHM 3B, and this is my chapter 1. Let's start. So, chapter 1 is all about introduction to law and tourism and hospitality. So, before we proceed to the topic, here's are the list of the objectives. So, first, identify the different kinds of laws. Second, explain the concept of tourism law. Third is enumerate important sources of tourism law. And lastly, give example of application of tourism law. So, how would you define law? So, law refers to a system or rule of rules and regulation established by a society or government to govern behavior. It is designed to maintain order, resolve disputes, and protect individuals' rights. So, law can cover various aspects including criminal, civil, and constitutional matters. What are the different kinds of law according to purpose? So first, substantive law. A law which creates, defines, and regulates rights or which regulates the rights and duties which give rise to a cause of actions. Second, adjective law. A law which provide the method of aiding and protecting certain rights. Next, what are the different kinds of law according to scope? First, general or public law. This law which applies to all of the people of the state or to all of the particular class of person in states with equal force and obligation. For example, criminal law, international law, and political law. First, criminal law. A law dealing with crimes under punishment as well as the procedure for that purpose. Second, international law. International law is a body of rules or principles of action governing the relationship between states. Third, political law. Political law is a law regulating the relationship sustained by the inhabitant of territory to the sovereign. Second, special or private law. A law which related to a particular person or things of a class. For example, civil law, maritime law, and mercantile law. Civil law. Civil law is the mass of precept which determine the regulate those relation of assistance, authority, and obedience existing among members of the family and those which exist among members of a society for the protection of private interest. Next, maritime law. Maritime law is the law of dealing with commerce by sea involving regulation of ships and harbor and status of seamen. Next is the mercantile law. So mercantile law is the law of commercial transaction derived from the law of merchants which include commercial, paper, insurance, and other types of agency. Next, what is tourism law? So tourism law is encompass legally regulation and principles related to the travel and tourism industry. It addressed issues such as traveler rights, contract between tourists and services providers, liability for accidents or injuries during travel, and the regulation of tourism businesses. Additionally, tourism law may involve environmental concerns, preservation of cultural heritage, and compliance with local and international regulation in the tourism sector. Tourism is defined as the custom or practice of traveling for pleasure, as well as the promotion by establishment of countries to attract tourists. The WTO or the World Tourism Organization defines tourism as the activities of persons traveling to and staying in place outside their usual environment for not more than consecutive year for a leisure, business, and other purposes. Tourism law may be defined also as a body of rules or principles of action which deal with the regulation, authority, relations, and obedience among members of society involved in tourist travel and accommodation. It includes the person travel from place to place for pleasure, and business establishments or person engaged in the occupation of providing various services for tourists. Next, importance and application of tourism law. So today's society has evolved wherein business establishment engaged in tourism have been in the food service, hotel service, transportation service, travel and tour operations, event management, and even medical tourism, among others. All for the interest of gratification, happiness, and amusement and entertainment of people traveling from place to place. Commerce has now been considered as way of necessity to do business in tourism. Otherwise, tourism law is a vital for creating a structured and responsible tourism industry. It addressed a wide range of issues aiming to balance an economic benefits of tourism with the need to protect the environment, culture, and the well-being of both tourists and local communities. Next is sources of law relevant to the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. So first is the Philippine Constitution. The Philippine Constitution, it is the fundamental law of the land to which all other laws must conform. The Philippines has the Constitution as known as the 1987 Constitution of Republic of the Philippines. And the 1987 Constitution replaced the previous one, which was in effect during the martial law era. It reflects the aspiration of the Filipino people for democracy, human rights, and social justice. Second, status of legislative enactment. So it is the written will of the legislative department rendered authentic by certain prescribed form and solemnities prescribing rules of action or civil conduct with respect to person, things, or both. Example, Dangerous Drug Act, Public Service Act, Civil Code of the Philippines, Labor Code of the Philippines, Revised Penal Code, Seatbelt Law, Local Government Ordinance. So, the first is the Dangerous Drug Act of 2002. Is the Philippines law that addressed the issue of illegal drugs in the country. It aimed to combat drug abuse and regulate the control and supervision of dangerous drugs. Second is the Public Service Act. So the Public Service Act is aimed to promote and maintain a state of genuine and meaningful competition in the telecommunication industry by forecasting the entry of new players and preventing anti-competitive practices. Third, the Civil Code. The Civil Code of the Philippines, officially known as the Republic Act Number 386. It is a comprehensive legal code that governs various aspects of civil law in the Philippines. It was enacted on June 18, 1949 and has undergone amendment since its inception. The Civil Code covered a wide range of civil matters including family relation, property, contract, obligation, succession, and other aspects of private law. Next is the Labor Code of the Philippines. The Labor Code of the Philippines, officially known as the Presidential Decree Number 442, is the primary legislation governing employment and labor relations in the country. It was enacted on May 1, 1974, and has undergone amendment to adapt the changing labor practices and conditions. Next is the Revised Penal Code. So the Revised Penal Code of the Philippines, officially known as Act number 3815. It is the primary criminal code governing offenses and penalties in the country. It was enacted on December 8, 1930 and has been amended several times since then, and revised penal code cover a wide range of criminal offenses, outlining the elements of crimes, their corresponding penalties, and legal principle applicable to criminal liability. Next is seatbelt law. Seatbelt law are in place to promote safety by requiring driver and passenger to wear seatbelts. And lastly, the local government ordinance. So local government ordinances are specific rules and regulation enacted at the municipal or country level. They cover a wide range of topics including zoning, noise control, parking, and more. Next is the administrative or executive order. Administrative or executive order, regulation, and ruling, these are the issued by administrative official under legislative authority, for example, rules and regulation promulgating by the Secretary of the Philippines to govern the accreditation of hotels, tourist inns, motels, apartels, resorts, pension house, and other accommodations. Next is the BIR circular and ruling, and administrative insurance by Department of Foreign Affairs. Next is omnibus rules implementing the labor code of the Philippines. Next, judicial decision of jurisprudence. This refers to the decision of the Supreme Court in interpreting the laws of the Constitution. Next is the custom. It is rules of conduct which is a given place and among given groups of people has been followed for an applicable time. Next is other sources. This refers to a decision of foreign tribunal and optional to a textbook writer. So, in the end, they are saying that the law of means nothing if we have a two-third system, where the powerful and above the law, and the rest of us live in fear of it. By Brian Stevenson. That's all, and thank you.